Chapter 7, Lesson 2, we're going to talk about applying exponent properties involving quotients. Yesterday we worked on products involving multiplication. Today we're going to look at what happens when our exponents are involved in division. This lesson is also using the same standard of using properties of exponent. So we have two properties that I want you to make sure you take note of and include in your notes. The first property is the quotient of power property. This one is much like the product of powers property with multiplication, except this one's going to be division. You have to have the same base, and then if you're going to have the same base, then you would subtract the exponents. My apologies here for not spelling the word subtract right. I'm sure several of you noticed that. But anyways, for a exponent in this form, what you're going to notice is you have something like 7 squared, and then you might have 7 over the top. We know that because the 7 doesn't have an exponent, it's assumed that that exponent is 1. Now, because my bases are both 7, then what I do is I subtract both of my exponents. I leave the base the way it is, and this would become 7 to the first power, or just 7. If you see this in form of algebra, you might see something like x to the fourth power over x to the fourth power over x to the second power. In this, the bases are both x, so we leave our base as x, and then we subtract our exponents. 4 minus 2 gives me 2, therefore my answer would be x squared. The one thing that you have to make sure you note is the variable x, if a variable is given, cannot be 0. You cannot have something like 0 to the fourth power over 0 to the third power. 0 is that special base where 0 to any power is still 0. So we can't have this because 4 minus 3 is going to be 1, and 0 to the first power is still 0. So that base can't be 0. The second property that we're going to talk about is called the power of a quotient property. When you see something like this, you are going to see parentheses. And what you need to know is you're going to divide the power of the numerator with the power of the denominator. So you might see something that looks like this, where you have x over y, and this is raised to the power of, let's say, 4. So if this is the case, then what you need to do is you first need to distribute that 4 to everything inside the parentheses. So that would look like x to the fourth over y to the fourth. Now, my x and my y are two different bases, so I can't simplify this one any further. So this would be my final answer, x to the fourth over y to the fourth. Now, the difference is when your bases are the same. For example, if I had 3 to the second power over 3 to the fourth power, and then this was in parentheses raised to the power of 5. So the first thing you would want to do here is you would want to distribute that 5 to everything inside the parentheses. And because we already have an exponent attached, that's your power of a power property that we learned yesterday in Lesson 1. So we're really going to be taking our properties from Lesson 1 and from Lesson 2 and putting them all together. So power of a power property tells me to multiply. So I multiply those together and I get 3 to the 10th. I also multiply my 5 with my 4 and I get 3 to the 20th power. Because my base is the same, I would subtract 10 minus 20 and I would get an answer of 3 to the negative 10th power. Now we're going to stop there and leave our answer with a negative exponent, even though that's not proper. In Lesson 3, we will learn how to simplify that one step further so that you don't have any negative exponents. But for now, what you just need to know is if my base is the same and it's a division problem, then you're going to subtract the numerator from you're going to subtract the denominator from the numerator. So I would do 10 minus 20 here. Now, I want to show several different examples of what this might look like with combined problems. So the first thing I want to focus in on is just the basic. If I have 8 to the 10th power over 8 to the 4th power, my base is the same on both of these, so my answer would be 8, and then I subtract 10 minus 4 gives me 6. My answer is 8 to the 6th power. What happens if I have a negative? Let's say that I have a negative 7 over x, and this is all squared. Well, this one's telling me that I need to square everything inside my parentheses. So I would have negative 7 squared and then over x squared. So I distribute that 2 to everything inside the parentheses. Now, my bases are different, so I cannot simplify any further. Now, what happens when I have several steps that are combined? Well, if I have several steps that are combined, let me show you a couple of what those would look like. Erase what we have here. All right, so what if we have 4x squared over the top of 5y, and all of this is in parentheses being raised to the 3rd power. Well, if this is the case, what you're going to do is you're going to raise everything in the entire problem that's inside the parentheses to the 3rd power. So what that would look like is the 4 gets raised to the 3rd power, the x squared gets raised to the 3rd power, and that has a power to a power, so you would multiply, so that becomes x squared. And then on the bottom you would have 5 to the 3rd power, and the y also gets raised to the 3rd power. Now, you could take this a step further, and you could start to simplify your numbers. What is 4 to the 3rd power? Well, 4 to the 3rd power is 64. X to the 6th power can't be simplified any further. And then on the bottom, 5 to the 3rd power is 125. And y to the 3rd cannot be simplified. So my final answer would be 64x to the 6th over 125y to the 3rd. All right, let's take a look at another one. What if you have a squared over 5y, and then inside parentheses, this is all being raised to the power of 5, and we're going to multiply this all by 1 over 2a squared. So the first thing you want to do is you want to simplify what's in parentheses. Everything inside parentheses needs to get raised to the power of 5. So what that would look like is you would have a to the 10th power, because it's a power to a power, so you multiply. Your 5 gets raised to the 5th power, so 5 to the 5th. And your y gets raised to the 5th power, so y to the 5th. Now this is all being multiplied by 1 over 2a to the 2nd. Now I'm going to erase our last problem so we have a little bit more room up here. But what I want you to notice is when you are dealing with fractions, you should know by now that to multiply fractions, I have a little song for you, or a little rhyme. It's called multiplying fractions, that's no problem, top times top and bottom times bottom. So in this, we're going to multiply the top times the top. Well, a to the 10th times 1 is still a to the 10th. And on the bottom, we're going to multiply everything here. So you have 5 to the 5th power, and 5 to the 5th power, if you use your calculator, 5 to the 5th power is 3,125. And then that also has to get multiplied by 2, so you get 6,250. And what that did was that took care of our numbers. That took care of our 5 to the 5th and our multiplying by 2. Now we all have y to the 5th, so we're going to keep it as y to the 5th. And that looks like a 6. Let's back that up. Y to the 5th. And you still have a to the 2nd. if you look closely, my two A's here have the same base. And since I have division, I need to subtract those exponents. So 10 minus 2 results in a to the 8th. Now that's gone. I've taken care of that. Everything on the bottom stays the same. So we have 6,250 y to the 5th. So my final answer is a to the 8th over 6,250 y to the 5th. All right, we're going to look at another example. All right, our next example, inside parentheses, we have -5 over y, and then that's all being raised to the 3rd power. So really all this tells us is everything inside the parentheses gets raised to the 3rd power. So that leaves me with -5 to the 3rd power over y. And then just put those parentheses back on. You need those parentheses because of the negative. All right, one more example for lesson 2. My last example is going to be a little bit more complex. We're going to have 2s over the top of 3t. All of this is being raised to the power of 3, and then it's going to be multiplied by t to the 5th over 16 and parentheses. All right. So first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of that exponent of 3 that's outside my first problem, my first part of my problem. So that leaves me with 2 to the 3rd, s to the 3rd, 3 to the 3rd, t to the 3rd. So everything got raised to the power of 3. And then we still have t to the 5th over 16. Now let's go ahead and start simplifying. So 2 to the 3rd power is 8. Everything here can just be one big fraction because really that's what it is. You're multiplying everything together. Now you'll notice here we have the same base here, and we have 3 to the 3rd power, which is 27. So if we see our bases of t to the 5th and t to the 3rd, we're going to subtract, and that's going to give me t to the 2nd. I still have s to the 3rd on the top, and I still have 8 on the top. And then on the bottom, I have 27 times 16. 27 times 16 is 432. And 432, if I do 8 divided by 432, that can be simplified to 1 over 54. So this would turn into a 1, this would turn into a 54. So my final answer is s to the 3rd, t squared over 54. Now you might be asking me, how did I know that 8 over 432 could be simplified to 54? All I did was I put in my calculator 8 divided by 432. I hit my double arrows on the calculator to change that to a fraction, and it showed me the fraction of 1 over 54. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're simplifying. And then if you have questions, absolutely ask. You will come to some problems where they simplify the numbers with the exponents, and sometimes they don't. So my suggestion to you right now is if a variable is involved, like this problem, we had variables, simplify the number all the way out. So I'm not going to leave 2 to the 3rd as 2 to the 3rd. I'm going to simplify that right here to 8 because I have the variables of s and t. So anytime your problem has variables, simplify out your numbers. If you don't have variables, then feel free to leave your answer as an exponent with numerals. Your homework for tonight, just like you see on your outline, is page 444. You're doing 4 through 50 evens. Please let me know if you have questions, and then when you're finished, those answers are also posted for you to check.